Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming to today's press conference. We've got a very exciting announcement to make. You've just seen a video there of amateur boxing sensation Vijender Singh, and today we're announcing that this is the first step towards him becoming a professional boxing sensation. Delighted to announce that we've signed Vijender on a long-term deal, and absolutely thrilled to bits to have Vijender and his manager Neerav Tomar over from India, they've been over here for the past week or so with a lot of training with Lee Beard. Vijender's been training, me and Neerav have been discussing, and just ironing out the deal, and I'm glad to announce that we've come to an agreement that everybody's happy with, and absolutely over the moon to sign Vijender. He's one of the hottest sports stars in Asia. He's had unrivaled success as an amateur, and I think it's actually a disservice to actually say use that word amateur. He's far from an amateur as a boxer. He's got an absolute fantastic pedigree as a fighter and as a participant in what is the toughest sport there is. He was he's a history maker. He was the first ever Indian to medal as a boxer at the 2008 Beijing Games, when he won a bronze, and came back to an absolute hero's welcome, and rightly so. And from there, he's just gone from strength to strength, and he's highly decorated as an amateur, having won silver at the Commonwealth Games in 2006 and 2014, and bronze at the Asian Games, and a bronze medal at the 2009 World Championships, and also at the 2010 Commonwealth Games. So as an amateur, he's got his trophy shelf must be fit to bursting, and we're going to make put all our efforts together to make him as successful as a professional as he has been as an amateur. His strengths are obviously, he's no disrespect, he's very mature as an athlete. At 29 years old, he knows exactly where he wants to be. Vijender didn't have to turn professional to continue to serve his country, as he so honourably has done for so many years. But I think he felt that he had, he's got some things that he wants to prove to himself. Having conquered the amateur side of the game, he wants to see if he can mix it with the professional fighters of world boxing. But obviously before that, we've got it's off obviously with 4 and 6 rounders, and he'll be doing that here in the UK, starting with his professional debut in late September. And the plan is to keep him very, very busy, and alongside Lee Beard, who'll be training him up in Manchester. I think we've got a team put together here that is going to give Vijender every chance of making it as a very, very successful professional boxer. His manager, Neerav Tomar from iOS, has been instrumental in putting this deal together, and I'd like to thank Neerav for all his help and all of his professionalism in getting to this point. I think this is a landmark deal for British boxing. It's probably the highest profile Asian signing that probably has been made maybe since Amir Khan. But the big difference there is that Vijender is born and bred from India, and he's going to come and try and conquer the UK before going back to glory in India, to which I'm sure will be another hero's welcome.
Manchester, the whole point was to come and also analyze, how much he can do, and we got like great reports. I think so. Lee and his team have worked with him for a week in terms of analyzing the entire biomechanics and the technical side, and then the mental side of the aggression or defense and the new terms which Vijender also is learning. It's very exciting, and there's a huge amount of buzz already in India. There are already 2-3 front pages news in one of the main editions, and so after this press conference tomorrow again it is going to be bigger. I would like to wish Vijender all the best, and thanks Francis for this association, and it's a landmark deal for any Indian fighter ever.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
And just a few words from Lee, and just how we got on last week.
Yeah, he came up to me on Tuesday, put him through a few tests physically, mentally and technically, and he sailed through all the tests. He's very, very strong. Got an open mind to learning new things. He's got a few great attributes to the professional game. He's got great power in both hands. Very heavy-handed with his jab. He's a thinking fighter as well, which I like. He doesn't just waste punches. He's looking to land clean, accurate punches. And so some of the physical tests that he went through, I was surprised that he got through to the finish, because normally what I get lads to do further on into camp, and he's only just come over from India. So I'm very excited about Vijender. He's obviously got a tremendous experience with his amateur pedigree. He's medalled at all the major competitions around the world, and I know there's a few things. It's not about changing what he does. It's just there's a few things that I feel I can implement into his game, which will be effective for him being a professional. So I'm very excited, and all the lads in the gym all enjoyed him being in the gym. Good character to have around the gym, and it was like he's been in the gym for a long time.
Thanks, Lee. And the man of the hour, Vijender Singh, just like to say a few words, and
thank you. And I had last week, great week with the Lee and with Francis Nira, and I trained with the pro boxers, and I trained in Manchester, and we did sparring, we did everything, and it was a great week, only. And that time I feel like that amateur boxer can do they can do training like pro, and they can turn the pro. So that time I decided why don't I would give a shot, so of course, and I would like to I would like now I'm going to pro now, and because in amateur I spent almost 15 or 16 years, and I did everything in amateur, like Olympic medal, World Championship, Asian game, county games, everything. But this time to prove myself and at the professional level, because I know in amateur there's so many good boxers from India, but there's I don't think so, hardly 1 or 2 boxers in the pro, and I represent my nation, my country at the international level, and I'm very excited to be here with Francis, with Nira, with the Lee, and that's my new life chapter, and thanks for the support and love, and thank you.
Thanks, V. Yep. So we're obviously, you can tell it's been an exciting week up in Manchester last week, and if the success of last week's anything to go by, we're a winner here, and very, very excited. I'd like to open the floor to any questions you might have.
When is the first match?
When is his debut?
Yeah.
We're looking at late September. We've just got to work out what our schedule for the new season. We've got Terry Flanagan fighting in a world title fight in Manchester, and Buglioni challenging on the 24th of July. So we're kind of going to see what happens with those fights before we make our schedule for September. Once we know where we're going, Vijender will be there. I mean, to be honest, I think mean, obviously depending on what advice from Lee, I'd like to. I've actually the reason why we can't get him out. Very a couple of weeks. Very in quick succession. Very end of September, middle of October. That's the plan. Is to to throw him at the deep end, keep Vijender busy. Couple that with quality sparring and some steps, and and I think you'll see progress made very, very quickly. As I mentioned, Vijender is 29 years old, so he's got to learn fast. But from what we saw last week, the maturity level is there where he wants to learn. He doesn't get frustrated when he's asking him to try different things. He sticks to it and keeps going and going until he gets it right. And I think that was one of the biggest attributes. I think is the determination there. So yeah, there'll be a couple of fights September, October, and then we'll see where we go from there.
What weight will you fight at? Middleweight or super middle?
We're gonna try middle. We're going to try middleweight. We're going to get some. I think with the nutrition and things like that. I think we discussed that. We're going to. He's probably never had the sort of professional nutrition plans that.
This is with my coach and my trainer. Then we'll go forward.
But I think we'll start middleweight and see where we go.
One question for me and one for you. From the Indian sort of non-cricketing sports point of view, which you mentioned, where are things at now? Are there more facilities available to professional boxers like that who need the right kind of sort of the atmosphere to be able to flourish? And to you, would you regret not playing for India at the next year's Olympics?
I already play, I think, 3 Olympic, 2004, 8, 12, and I give my best. I get the Olympic medal in Beijing 2008 and a quarter finalist in 2012 Olympics. So, but I told you earlier, there is no good boxer in a pro level, in a pro boxing. So, I'm the only one. I want to try that thing. Indian boxer can do best or better in pro boxing. So. It's not about me, it's not about professional or something like that, but it's all about nation, I can say that, because it's a new beginning, it's new things, and I will do that.
Vijender, you've got an absolute massive following on social media, 1.2 million, I believe, on the Facebook. Sorry, I thought you finished.
Yeah, India is growing at a rapid pace, and we saw the IPL with what cricket can do, and since 2008. And last year the ISL, the Indian Super League football, has been launched, and there are a lot of big names you will see in India playing football this year. In terms of boxing, there is no professional boxing setup in India. And that's what the whole agenda is to with Vijender and with the young boxers. And there's a pool of 5,000 Indian boxers who train and compete at amateur level. So we've got 25 states, and every state has got about 200 odd, 300 odd boxers. Infrastructure, again, the government is taking a lot of initiatives. We've got Sports Authority of India, which has made massive facilities during the Commonwealth Games. But we know also there were a lot of issues there. But then in terms of professionally managing those facilities, they've also opened it to a lot of public-private partnerships. For agencies to come in or clubs and academies to come and train. Boxing also has got a good amount of infrastructure for amateur, but obviously this is first of its kind ever for the country, in terms of the pro boxing setup. But I think so we're going to be setting it up soon in terms of boxing clubs and academies, and with Vijender, those are the plans for the youngsters, in the years coming down. So yeah, that's all right.
Vijender, you've got an absolutely massive social media following, 1.2 million, I believe, on Facebook. What has the response been from your fans and your people with you going into the paid ranks?
If they are my fans, of course they will be happy, and if someone else, so they can do any damn thing. But of course they are excited, they are happy, and they are my fans, so they love me. Whatever I'm doing, just right or wrong, they just love me.
Are you excited about making the transition?
Very much excited, and it's good to be here in London. And we were in like last week in Manchester with the Lee and with the trainers and with other sparring partners. So it's a great week. Yeah.
How long has this been in your thinking, in your frame of mind to go into the paid ranks?
I just came here like for my amateur training for my other things, but I seen the whole setup and I met Francis, I met Lee and the other boxers. So that time I decided like, why don't you try like as a pro boxer? So now I decided.
Vijender, are there any particular professional boxers you'd like to fight?
We'll see. I'll let you know because right now though I'm just that's my debut. Like I can say that in September and October. So we'll let you know about that.
I was wondering if there are any boxers, the amateurs you'd like to sort of rematch the pros, like maybe Anthony Go or.
No in particular, man. Not like anyone. It's a boxing because that's the ring, and I can fight anyone with anyone. Yeah.
How much encouragement do you take from seeing someone like Amatuer, you beat at the 2008 Olympics, I think, go on to become professional world champion? How much confidence does that give you for what you can achieve in the pros?
I'm totally confident, bro. It's all about like the hard work. It's all about the willpower, and boxing is all about willpower. I can say that hard work, training, and I'm with my best team, so I'm excited. And if I'm going to play with anyone, any boxer, so I'm ready to do that.
Any plans to screen Vijender's fights via BoxNation in the end?
We are going to be in the short term. We'll be sitting down with some Indian TV companies in a couple of weeks to try and get an output deal. We've already had a lot of interest expressed to us from that, and I can't really directly answer your question, but yeah. So in the short term, we'll be TV companies on the Star, isn't it? I think that's one of the first meetings we've got lined up. It's a big market over there, and I think we're going to obviously do everything we can to maximise the potential. And but first and foremost today is obviously talking about Vijender, and he's going to be a big part of it going forward, and to put Indian boxing on the map. And obviously we're going to be trying to get an output deal out of that.
Vijender, you still work as a police officer?
Yeah.
So you're going to give that job up now?
No, I don't think so. There is a clause, and I give like proper leave. I'm on leave right now, and I give like proper take permission from the headquarters and then come back here. It's not a problem for me.
There's a special provision for athletes, sports people at a certain level for the government jobs and in police services. So you come under that. One of these you take.
Because I'm not the only athlete like who work in a police, because there's so many like a caterer and
railways
and there's so many other things, right? So I think they should happy because I'm representing our nation or India or police, anything. So I think they should happy for that. Yeah.
Have you got any more films in the pipeline?
Right now I think I'm just waiting for my debut in professional boxing. That's it.
How do you think it will be received in India generally? Because obviously now you're not representing them internationally.
I think they are happy. I think because that's a new thing. Both the reaction will be there, like some negative, some positive. But I'm excited, and I'm going to prove them country is first, and I do anything. I can do hard work. I can do other things for the nation also. It's all about I'm just turning for myself or for any other thing. It's all about me.
Any organisation would be gutted to lose Vijender, part of their team. That's inevitable. You're going to get people who are upset that he's not going to be representing his country anymore. But on the other hand, I think those people who may see it as a negative should recognise what he has done for Indian boxing over the years and represent his country, and support him in his his new venture. It's he's always been proud of his country and represent India wherever he fights, and people should be excited for it. But it's inevitable people are going to be disappointed.
Yeah, so yesterday we had two newspapers, both big news. One is about both negative, in terms of the amateur side, and the other one is taken very positively that he's putting India on a global professional boxing map. So it's going to be two sides always.
Francis, how do you go about harnessing such a huge following profile over here? How do you kind of use that to advantage? Is it just about the TV?
No, it's not just about TV. I think, Vijender's a massive talent, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to have him on board, regardless of his following. The fact that he is a very, very popular guy, both back home and over here, is he's a big bonus, and makes it a lot easier to market him, and commercially it's a big positive. But first and foremost, he's a fighter, and if he doesn't succeed in the professional ranks, that following won't matter. But the better he gets and the more successful he is, the following is only going to increase. And at the end of the day, bums on the seats are always going to be a positive, and and eyes on the screen is always going to be a positive. I'm not surprised he's got a huge following. Very, very likable man, very, very pleasant to be around, charismatic, and most importantly, can he fight? The sparring the other day was just absolutely brilliant, and I think he's burst a couple of blood vessels in Lee's hands as well. Massive power in both hands, and I'm very confident people are going to turn out and watch him. And Nirav, I think you can explain the confidence you have in the Indian market within the UK.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the top sports persons there. I mean, cricketers obviously take the biggest chunk in terms of popularity and incomes and other stuff. But Vijender is an extremely popular sports person, and he's very unique. He's a boxer. He's acted in a Bollywood film. He's been a judge in a reality show recently on the youth channel. So, and he's been on covers of most of the fashion and health magazines in India. He's walked the ramp for one of the biggest designers. And he's close to a lot of Bollywood people also. So he's at a very unique situation, and I feel that just we guys just walking in the streets in London and in Manchester, so there were a few Indians who recognize him here also and say, he's the Indian boxer Vijender. So I think so, yeah. I mean, and the kind of buzz which is already there the last 2 days in the Indian media and people is going to be exciting. And there's not been any great Indian amateur boxer who's turned pro and wants to compete and shape up his career to the top level. And he's extremely motivated. After the 7 days when we were together, I was every day asking him, how do you feel, and do you want to do this, and this is going to be this kind of a magnitude, and he's just in one direction. He's like Leeds to just tell him to do something, and he would do even more than that. So he's fit, he's confident, he's motivated, and mentally he's like, just bring it on.
What are the plans? You're going to stay in Manchester now until September, or are you going home first?
Can you just repeat that?
Are you planning to go home now, or are you going to stay in training camp in Manchester until
I'm
September?
going to train like in London only, like in Manchester.
No, but you're going home before, or are you staying in camp?
We're going home
Yes,
tomorrow,
yes,
yeah.
of course.
So the plan is Nirav and Vijender are going to fly home tomorrow, and then I fly out to India to do some more press out there with the guys, and then the guys are going to come back to and watch Frank Guglielmi challenge Chibnall for the world title, and then on the Monday starts Camp of Lee. So they'll have a good 10 weeks, 11 weeks before his debut.
Yeah, it's important for him to see the kind of magnitude of the world title fight is there. So 24th is in London, he'll be there to see that, and then start training. 6 weeks, I think there's going to be training.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Lee, how much of a challenge is it for you turning someone who was a fantastic amateur into a professional in the style that you were a professional boxer?
Like I said before, when I first worked with him Tuesday, he's a thinking fighter, which helps. He's got, he's open to trying new things, new techniques, and obviously he can fight. He's medalled at all the major tournaments, so he knows how to fight. What I was doing is just analysing things that would work with his style. Like shortening up his punches and using his jab. Maybe a bit more versatility with the jab. Just things that would help him develop as a pro. Obviously the amateur system was about scoring points. There's more rounds. He's going to have to pace himself for more rounds in the professional game. The physical, training that we do is obviously probably different to what he's been used to. But he was passing everything with flying colours last week. So I've not got any doubt in my mind that after a few months, I think he's going to be off and running. And then once he starts getting the fights under his belt and the experience in the professional game under his belt, I think we've got a real great fight here.
You look to make the debut a few pounds over middle, do you think?
Yeah, just obviously he's going to start once he starts training and going through all the aspects of that. We'll see what he's walking around at throughout camp at a healthy weight, and then we'll just, like Vijender said before, we'll just analyse it once that starts. Or he's going to campaign at middleweight or at super middleweight. He's got tremendous power, incredible power. I was very surprised with his power, with his jab. When I first spoke to him, I felt he could have used it. I watched a lot of his fights and felt he could have used his jab a little bit differently in some fights. He's very heavy-handed, very heavy-handed, and that's going to be something that I think is evident when he's in the pro game. In a small glove, no head guard. He's very naturally heavy-handed, which obviously is a good attribute to have.
You're a family man. Do you have married with kids?
Yeah. My wife, I spoke to my wife yeah. She's excited, and she's like, whatever you do, just do with your 100%. Just give you 100%. And I have a kid, and he's 1.5-year-old. His name is Vijender Singh, and I miss them. Sorry?
How many children do you have?
Only one.
One child.
The boy, his name is Vijender Singh, and he's in Delhi right now.
Yeah.
And I would like to go back and talk to him.
Is there competition between you and Mary Com to be the biggest boxing star in India?
I think Mira will explain that. Because he's managing both of us.
So Mary Com is also managed by iOS, and it's been, it's just been both the medals have been bronze, and both have been, when we started working together with Vijender and Mary. So yeah, Mary has got a huge. Both of them come from a very humble background, and Mary Com is a women's boxer, and she's again a global story because of where she comes from, India, and the kind of following even she has internationally. So there was a film which was made on Mary Com, which is called Mary Com, by a big Bollywood actress and a big filmmaker, which just got released last year.
I think there is no competition.
There is, there is in terms of both are very different in their fields, and Vijender is iconic in terms of the overall boxing aspect is concerned, but Mary is like more of a she's done extremely well as a women boxer in 51 kg weight category, but she's a different story altogether. She's a mother of 3, and that story is very different, and obviously Vijender's boxing angle is very different. So in terms of perception, they're like two completely different personalities.
So clearly there's big interest in boxing in India.
Yeah. People have not even seen a single, a live big pro boxing show. The amateur shows are very averagely managed and promoted, and then, a pro boxing show is a complete different ballgame. We're excited, to present soon after about 6 odd months.
Any more questions? Guys will be available for one-on-one interviews. Thank you very much for coming down today.
So I want to tell you last thing. Because, thanks to everyone, because I'm an amateur boxer, so thanks to my coach, thanks to my fellow boxers, thanks to all my fans who love me like I say, amateur boxer. I'm turning pro, so I need just good wishes from them, and I will rock, don't worry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.